All right, so I hope you're enjoying yourselves and you're as excited here as I am at this opportunity of a great partnership between health and technology. I'm here with my team, Payal and Joanne, and Zach is on his honeymoon, so he couldn't be here. But so we developed this product called PTTrack. Let's talk about it. So the problem we are addressing is physical therapy patients have difficulty adhering to their home exercise programs. Sounds very simple, but I think let's get a little deeper into it because it has three sides to it. The first side is patients. When you talk about patients, the patients are having difficulty following their home exercise routines because they just don't have the time. Health is not a priority for a lot of people. And as a result of which their treatment gets longer and they end up paying more on their treatment, plus they might have to get readmitted or undergo a surgery they shouldn't have gone through. Providers have an issue because they are not able to track the progress of a patient because they don't know if the patients are doing their exercises or not. And the last part is the insurance companies because they are actually the ones who are paying for your treatments. If you have to go back to the hospitals, they are the ones who are going to have to write that check for you. So there are three problems, and this is what our perception is. We went ahead and did a survey on the patients and the physical therapists, and this is what we got. So the patient said that I'm not motivated. I cannot remember how to do them, and that I don't have the time. The physical therapist agreed with them, saying, yes, they are not motivated. I don't know if they're doing it, and I don't know if they're doing it right. So some facts here, more than 90% patients said their PT did not know if they were doing it or not. Like they don't have a way to track it. They believe what the patients say. And we know that only 35% patients are home exercise program adherent. So we know there is a problem. Where does PTTrack come into picture? We're going to solve all this, yeah, magic word. So we have three sides of our product. There is a patient app, there is a provider app, and then there is a wearable, which connects the two. Let's look at the patient app. So on the patient app, we see there are three exercises that the patient needs to do. There is a video, let me play that for you. So Zach is gonna show us how do you do them, how do you do the exercise, right? And once you do that, the green dots are gonna fill it itself. It's gonna auto-log your motion. There is a goal section there where you can see how good you're doing on your goals. So you can see on the second one, Zach really needs to catch up on his goals because he's leaving behind, right? So that's the patient app. On the provider side, you can see that the physical therapist can actually look at the patient and see what goals he's following or he's not. He can also choose to send a reminder to the patient if he sees that the patient's not doing well. Now, let's talk about how the whole workflow works and where the wearable comes into the picture. So let's suppose you go to the clinic and it's your first day. The physical therapist is going to give you the wearable. He's going to make you do those exercises. And while you do them, they're going to create a baseline for you. That is your custom profile, how your body reacts when you do the exercise. Then the physical therapist is going to give you a chart, your goal, you have to adhere to this, and if you do it 4 to 6 weeks, you'll see this improvement. So the next part, when you go home, you do the exercises using the wearable, your goals start getting checked in, and the physical therapist is aware of it. Make sure there's no manual logging here. You're not supposed to open the app and log in your exercises. The only thing you may need to use the app for is to see the how-to videos. Again, if you're lazy and you're not doing your exercises, the app can choose to send you a reminder, or so can the physical therapist, right? And then it's a win-win for everyone when your present matches your target. So that's the whole workflow. Now, how did we get to this and how do we validate this? We designed a prototype based on an iPhone without the wearable, using accelerometer and gyroscope data. And we saw that for the three exercises, we get unique patterns of each exercise. And you can clearly see the repetitions here. Now, if these patterns are matched against each other every time, it's pretty straightforward that we can count for the repetition. So this is even without the wearable. So imagine how much accuracy we can get to with a wearable. And by the way, we are in progress of making that happen. So now we know this is a problem, how big of a problem it is. There are 9 million patients who undergo physical therapy annually. There are 200,000 physical therapists having trouble making sure their patients are doing well. And 22% of insurers are already into developing wearable strategies. That's where we fit right in, because that's what sets us apart from our competitors. If you look at the competitors, all of them provide manual logging. provide automatic and accurate alarms. We also provide you with a wearable, which will also monitor your basic heart rate and extra things there. And we just have a lot of accuracy promised to you. In terms of our growth and scalability, imagine if you're able to track your motion, it's going to have a variety of applications. Like for strength training, athletics, it can measure your, I would say, a baseball pitch and make sure that you're doing it right. So there's a ton of untapped potential. And we also plan on having EMR integration and partnership with biomedical companies to see what's there. Thank you. Yeah.
Fascinating
Yeah.
product. I've been in the home health space for many years. And are you a PT?
No, but we have a PT on the team.
Yeah, I knew you had one on your team. Because healthcare providers, I imagine, would be interested in something like this. I think a potential market for you also might be gait training, fall prevention in the elderly.
Right. Yeah.
So looks like you're doing really interesting work.
Thank you for your feedback.
Do you foresee any difficulties in patenting your method and apparatus being the wearable?
Yes. I mean, considering if it has a lot of potential, it's going to be difficult to keep it as unique. But we plan on getting this integrated into the whole healthcare system. So yes, we plan on going through the FDA approval and all the process that is required to get it right there in the system. Yes.
So you know that FDA approval takes several
Many
months
years.
and about $50,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
How are you going to save providers money or increase their revenue?
So let me go back a bit. So I can talk about the business model just briefly. So there are two things here, which the BYO is buy your own, and then there's a lease structure that we're providing. Now this is before the FDA approval. So first we get to, our go-to-market strategy would be to go to physical therapists and get them excited about the product and give them free trials. Once they are convinced with the accuracy and the results, they can have, they can purchase this for a particular patients on certain plans. And I believe that if the patients get a wearable which does the exact same thing as your Fitbit or an iPhone, they're probably going to see potential and might want to try it out for 3 months.
But who's going to pay for it?
The patients.
The patients.
The patients are going to pay for it.
And in your evaluations that you did, the people that you talked to said they would pay for this?
We were told not to ask those questions.
Really?
Yeah. Like the patient might say, yes, I will pay for it, but there's no guarantee.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
I think you guys are really early in that
Yeah.
conversation too, but it's a really good point. A lot would look at the insurance provider maybe to
Yeah.
pay for something like this.
And that's the thing with insurance providers coming in the picture, we need FDA approval, right?
Not necessarily, but I think the challenge you have with insurance companies is that's a very long path to
Mhm.
follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, independent providers, though, you know, the Gentivas of the world, or Kindreds of the world, they've got skin in the game with outcomes, of course. So they could fold it into their cost of doing business and they get better outcomes. That's a strong sell, I think.
Look, you have 2 new mentors.
Yeah. That was great. Thank you.